What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So you guys are always asking how we keep our water so crystal clear and pristine. Well, today we're going to take you through it and how we keep our water so immaculate and looking great in all of our thousands and thousands of gallons. It's fun, right, Dad?
It's all me. It's all me. I take care of it.
All right, so you guys are always seeing this monster pond here, and there's 6-7 foot of water right here, and it doesn't even look like there's a drop of dirt in here. Well, we're gonna go through and explain to you why this water is so clear. It's not just filtration, it's not just water quality, it's not just knowledge, it's a mixture of all three. So basically, you can have mechanical filtration, and you can have biological filtration. Just because you have them on your tank doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna have a crystal clean, clear tank. You could have the best mechanical filter on the market and your water could still be hazy dirty because it could be a bacterial bloom inside the water, and you could have, you know, not enough biological filtration on your fish tank whatsoever. So it's not only biological, it's mechanical. And there's also a third type of filtration, which is chemical. But let's put something into perspective. The chemical filtration is just a gimmick that all these companies try and get your money for. Oh, if you use carbon, you're going to, you know, get rid of that nasty color, that nasty smell. I know my dad's gonna chime in here on it for a second.
I think you saw that. It actually does work. It will take down the smell, but that's like, you know, it's not fixing the problem. It's taking away the end result of the problem. So the problem's still there and the carbon's taking away the smell. We don't run carbon on our 200,000 gallons of water. We don't run it at all. And people always come in here and say, wow, I always thought this place would smell like a pet store. And it doesn't. I mean, there's absolutely no smell. The only thing you get in here is a little bit of warm moisture. That's it. But no smell. And that's because of good quality filtration and biological media.
So we're gonna go a little deep. So basically each fish tank, each aquarium, each pond, whatever you have is like a big mathematical equation. You could have the right filtration and you don't have the right amount of flow. So you got to kind of play with this equation and mold it to be specific for your tank alone. Now there are general guidelines, like you should have 3 times the amount of water flowing through your tank per hour. So let's put this for an example for you. That 750 gallon tank right there, if I have that stocked full of fish, that should be getting 3 times 750 gallons per hour. I would normally, you know, round up because that's what we do here. So, you know, 2,500 gallons per hour. So you can have that flip over rate of all the water in your tank, but you also have to remember you got to count the volume of the sump too. And you have to have every drop of water running through your mechanical filtration and then your biological, and that should be flipping over about 3 times an hour. So walking in here, you guys can see this 3,000 gallon aquarium. There are pacu in here. They are dirty, nasty fish. There is red tails, other types of catfish. It is not a lightly stocked tank whatsoever. Niger cats. This big old 30-inch Temensis peacock bass. But you guys can see, for one, this is the amount of water pass-through I have going through the tank. So this is constantly flowing in and it's going out to the drain. This right here is my biological, which I actually have to clean because this is normally a full tube spewing out of there. So when that slows down, I know I need to clean my filter. But we just got back from Aquashella. We were there for 3 days. And we kind of left everyone here and we cleaned everything before we went. Now in that back corner, you can see there's another pump running right there. And this is the System 3 Stay Right cartridge filter right here. This is strictly handling our mechanical filtration with a reflow dart on here. So we have mechanical there, and then I have mechanical hooked up through a sand filter on this filter, out the sand filter coming up to these bio towers and back into the tank. So it's getting its right amount of bio and mechanical for this tank alone. So we not only have our system filter, but we also have individual filters on each tank. Like this 4,400 gallon, you guys can see we have tubs up on top of these tanks with large pumps just spewing water through them. Actually, that one is off right now, so I need to go ahead and fix that. So let me look back here. Oh, I can see right there, my pump fell off of my hose. So someone must have freaked out in that back corner and knocked my pump off. So I have to fix that. So this tank should be clear, but we have all the filters on top of the tank adequately sized for each individual tank that we have. For this 1,000, we have this pond filter up there, and then of course we have pass-through through every single tank. This 4,400 alone has a 10,000 gallon per hour pump. Now you guys might say, oh, that's not your 3 times an hour typical flow rate. That is correct, but I also have a 4,000 gallon per hour on there, and I have a 2,500 gallon per hour here, plus the drip system that's flowing in through the system at a heavy rate. So you guys can see, I basically run all of my tanks like this, and the water stays crystal clear, very immaculate. Here goes the Pima. He finally started to hide where we can see him. That is awesome. So, but I don't want to skip over, you know, natural filtration as well. So your plants do sometimes help filter your water, not necessarily in a mechanical way, but more of like a biological, and they will actually eat out the nitrates in your system. So we have it onto our sock table, onto our sump fit filter. While the water's passing by, the plants are eating the nitrates out of the water, thus providing cleaner, better, safer water for our fish. Look at his tail. He is starting to get so much color. Oh my God. You're a beautiful little Pima, aren't you? All right, so now that we're in here, let's go over here and look at the Bellagio tank. This is sort of the same setup. We have pass-through. We have a 3,500 gallon per hour pump on each tank. And then of course we have Fluval FX6 filters. Look at these guys, they're hungry. They all came nowhere else in the tank, and they all came up, and they're wanting some food. As you can see, we don't do maintenance for 4 days, and look at that algae on the glass. So this is a never-ending battle to keep these tanks clean. You guys have to stick with your maintenance program. If you slack off for a few days, you're gonna spend hours upon hours cleaning. Now, since we took off the weekend and went to Aquashella and we weren't doing our normal maintenance, now I'm gonna have to get in this tank, clean off all this glass, and it's gonna, you know, cloud up my water just a bit, but that's fine because I know my tanks can handle it. This one over here, however, we do not feed all those pellets. We had to overfeed every tank before we left, so there were no fights, no one getting picked on or being killed. So we went ahead and overfed this cichlid tank, knowing that we would come back and have to do some maintenance. I am actually surprised that it is not worse than what it is, because you step back and this tank looks absolutely beautiful. All right, so now we're gonna get back into the meat and potatoes of our filtration. Actually, let me take a walk back here. You guys probably don't see this all too often, but underneath this stand, I have an FX6. Back here, I've just got FX6s. They are going to the 1,000 and the 4,400. Now you guys can see over here, we've got, you know, AC 110s on our tanks as well. For all these smaller tanks, we have pass-through, and you have FX6s, FX5s. On this Stingray tank, I just throw a plethora of filtration all over on our tanks. If we have extra filters that are not being used, toss them on a tank. What's the harm? All it can do is make your water cleaner and clearer. And what this also does is gives me, you know, vessels for when I set up a new tank, I already have filters pre-seated that I can instantly take and say, hey, I've got this 400-gallon tank over here, which we're about to be setting up because now we're back from Aquashella. I resealed it previously and it's ready for water. So at any given moment, I can take one of these fit filters and put it on that tank and be ready to go. If I have another dry one sitting around, I can just put it in its place and not ever have to worry about cycling a tank whatsoever. But one other thing we do, you know, we have our whole entire fish room ran off of this half-inch air line going to 2 different linear air pumps. They work wonders. We run our entire rescue off of linear air pumps, and wherever I drop air down into a tank, of course, I've got sponge filters, because why would you not? You're already using the air. You might as well get some benefit out of it. You have mechanical and biological right here. So I need to find some large ones in here that the big cats can't, you know, break apart, but I have not found those yet. But everywhere that I have air lines, I have sponge filters. I also have, there's a sponge filter in the back, waterfall filter here, FX6, and then I also have the water pass-through coming from our system, so the water stays typically pretty clear. The only time that our water does not look clear is when you look from the side and we need to clean our front glass. So looking back at the monster pond, we have our main source of filtration right here, and you ask me, well, where is it? Well, you're kind of looking at it. So beneath all of this gravel is actually a huge, massive reverse flow wetland style filter that was designed by Aquascape. You know, Greg Whitsock, the pond guy, Ed Bailu came out. They had a bunch of their Aquascape contractors out here and they transformed this pool into a recreation pond. So beneath here, I say reverse flow because in that corner we have 2 10,000 gallon per hour pumps. One's running up, feeding that whole system, coming back into the spillway bowls and feeding all these plants back here. Yes, I have more natural filtration with my plants because why would you not? I'm already using it for the waterfalls, so might as well get some plants on the system. We cannot, however, grow plants inside the pond, so that's why you see I have shelves set up with plants all around the outside because my big fish love to eat the plants and I can never have plants inside the water. So we actually have these floating baskets. They are leaving them alone, so we're gonna get them filled up with plants too. But right here, like I was talking, reverse flow, the second 10,000 gallon per hour pump pumps down through. There's actually a centipede down here and it's strategically placed and it disperses the water and comes up through what they call aqua blocks, which slows the velocity of the water down tremendously and gives you the contact time going through the aqua blocks. And then you go through 3 courses of gravel. So you have coarse, you have fine, and then you have pea gravel. So, you know, on the bottom it might be 2 to 4 inch stones and then 1 inch stones, and then, you know, your small little half-inch pea gravel. So that's what we have up here, but you go through the 3 courses of stone. You never have to worry about gravel vacuuming this stone because it is reverse flow. It's pushing down through and coming up through the gravel instead of sucking through and trapping that dirt. All the dirt gets trapped inside this snorkel right here, which about once a year you take that off, you stick a pump down in there and suck all the dirt out. So we have this in here. We have it on the back pond too, but the back pond is size for a pond that's supposed to be a quarter of its size. So we have to up the filtration on our back pond. That is why it's not looking to its best of glory right now, but we will get it. We're working on it. We've got the guys coming out to install the patio. I believe they're starting this week, but I just wanted to bring you guys along, explain to you how we do our filtration because it's not very hard. You just have to get a handle on your fish tank. You have to be able to give yourself enough mechanical, biological, and have the right amount of flow. That's what it boils down to, and that is how we keep our aquarium so clear. So I hope you guys liked today's video. If you guys loved it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friends.